Okay, hello everybody. So today and tomorrow for the hackathons, we will have a bit more, let's say, open-ended task. So for today, we have prepared two notebooks. So one of them is about clustering methods that you can apply and analyze your EELS data, for example, other data. So such stuff, it was already introduced by Sergey. So if you go to the folder in GitHub corresponding to or the day 3 of the hackathon, this notebook is the last one. Yeah, so it's kind of and also we have one more notebook that I'm going to introduce right now. This notebook is called 4 p.m. Hackathon 3, the EELS. And in this notebook, we would like to suggest you to play a bit with variational autoencoders and parameters for variational autoencoders to set up or to analyze some EELS data. So let's just first let me just first briefly introduce what you need to do to start the hackathon. And the very first thing that everybody should try to do is just to open runtime, go to the change runtime type and select T4 GPU. Otherwise, your VE model will be very slow during the training. Then you need to press save. Okay, let me just do it from the beginning. We'll disconnect to delete this runtime. Okay, and go to the runtime. Yeah, just already. So after that, we would like to suggest you to play with the EELS dataset, which were acquired for the ITO cubes. There are 12 of the different datasets with different density of the data. Here, obviously, it is a spectral images, meaning that each pixel corresponds to the low-loss EELS spectrum. You may select one you prefer or play with several of them. So then there are a few frames how you can obviously upload the data, some basic visualization. This is a third data set. So here is just intensity map corresponding to the individual cross-section. You may move this cross-section and look at that. After that, there is a small block you would like to use to warm up about the clustering, but again, we have the second notebook, which is much more comprehensive, much more diverse, and provide much more opportunities and different methods to play with. Here, we decided just to be limited by Kamin and Gaussian mixture modeling. So it's probably one of the simplest and, to be honest, most used based on my experience. And you also may consider to go to the scikit-learn. It is one of the standard Python library, and apply another clustering method to this data and analyze, play with the parameters, play with the number of components, or most of them, and look what we can get, how we can cluster them, what is the variability factors that our clustering method can extract. And the last part, and actually the most important part, is about variational autoencoders. So here this part is exactly why we need GPU to be used. So we again import some libraries, pretty standard one. So it's Torch. You can just go through this through the cells. Then you kind of prepare EELS spectra for the variational autoencoders, and meaning normalize them and transform into the Torch format. And after that, in this frame, spectral VAE. This is a class, if everybody a bit more aware about the Python. So this is a class which defines our variation of time encoder. So you may see we define both neural networks encoder, which convert our high dimensional data into the Latin space, into the low dimensional representation. So it's actually a probabilistic encoder and the decoder which decode our data again into the high dimensional space. Some function, auxiliary function for encoding, decoding, and training, and another one in the next cell. It's actually second very important for the variation of the encoder function or a method which defines the loss. So as you remember, Sergey probably mentioned that in variation of the encoders we have reconstruction loss, and we also have KL divergence loss. And KL divergence loss is actually the loss that makes our latent space so nice and neat and compacted, and that we can sample from them. And all beauty, at least half of the beauty of variation of encoders, is due to introduction of this KL loss. So you can go through that and be free to also use ChatGPT or ask in the chat if you have some questions about the structure. And after that, what I would like to suggest you to do is just to train the variation of the encoder on the EELS spectra from the different data set. You may try to play with the different parameters like number of training approach, dimensionality of the hidden layers in the encoder and decoder, learning rate, also parameter beta, which defines the ratio between reconstruction loss and KL divergence loss, and you may observe what is the evolution of your loss decrease with ongoing training, and also what will be the latent representation, how your EELS dataset can be represented into the latent space. So as you may see here, for example, we may observe that for the one of the latent variables, we have what is called collapse of the latent variables, meaning that all variability factors are distributed, are mainly represented into the second latent variables, while first latent variables is almost collapses to the single value. So just a hint, if you will play a bit with KL loss and reconstruction loss, you may somehow to find the balance between the reconstruction probability and organizing of the nice latent space. So in these cells, we can visualize the distribution of our latent variables in the real space into the spatial space. So you may actually see how different latent variables are distributed across our particles here, and also in this cell you may observe what is the reconstruction capabilities of the method. So the blue one, the noisy one, is input data, and this less noisy orange spectrum is what we get after the reconstruction. It is the output of our trained VAE. So if you are very comfortable with everything above, there are two kind of more challenging tasks or more interesting tasks. The first one is just to test variation of the encoder to the generalization. So as I mentioned, you have more than one data set, so you may try to learn the variation of the encoder on the one data set and then use the trained variation of the encoder to encode and decode another data set. Then you may compare what will be the latent representation from one data set and another data set into the joint latent space. And you may try to analyze is your VAE extract some meaningful variability parameters or just fit to the noise. So how is general the model? So this is the first one. And the second one is about anomaly detection from the VE reconstruction loss. So the idea that if you have underrepresented objects or underrepresented spectra that are very different from the mainstream, from the main part of the spectra, this model will not be able to capture all variability factors. So the reconstruction loss for such a spectrum will be pretty high. So variation after encoder, one of its actually dummy application is to find some anomaly in the data, some anomaly in the data set. So you may try to use variation after encoders to pinpoint, to locate such anomalies within your data and also try to analyze it. So that's pretty it. Yeah, we have 45 minutes, so let's try to do it. So we probably need to wrap it up because there is another meeting in 5 minutes in this room. I hope you made some progress with the task. If you have some question, you can discuss it tomorrow or later. The only things I would like to pay attention, which I think quite important if we speak about variation after encoders, that actually the difference between variation after encoders and autoencoders in general, that variation after encoders has probabilistic encoder, meaning that we find not a deterministic representation of our high-dimensional data in the Latin space, but rather we find a small distribution. So we put into the correspondences to each our input data small distribution within the Latin space, and you get both. You get the prediction in terms of mean function of your object, and you have some standard deviation of the distribution. So the unique generative capabilities of variation after encoders is actually somehow apart from this fact. Well, I just added this frame to visualize that standard deviation is for different Latin variables is not the property that is often analyzed, at least in physics, but sometimes it can be very important criteria to understand how well you can find your Latin representation or how different part of your data set are represented here.